Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the official Australia making it to the round of 16 World Cup celebration stream, also known as the PUBG EU Pro Scrims. My name is Charizard. I hope you're having a fantastic evening. We've got 2 more games left in the tank for us before we retire for the evening. The entertainment's been very, very good so far, and we look forward to a similar finish here in game number 5. Let's take a look at where the plane will be taking us this time around. It's a 7 o'clock to 1 o'clock plane path, relatively straightforward. Teams that are dropping east, the Milters of the world, will need to look for a little bit of an alternative, but otherwise nothing massive to write home about here in game 5. Leaderboard also shaping up very nicely as well. You will get that updated a couple of minutes after the end of game 6 for tonight's full result, if you are interested in taking a look at which teams are at the top of the order. But honestly, the story today so far has straight up been that After All have shown up and the mixed teams are actually doing very, very well. I believe until just now, every single mixed team was in the top half of the leaderboard. So after 4 games, that is not bad at all. Wok says, and MTB again? Again, guys? Guys, are we doing this again? We're doing this again. All right. Problem is, Esqui is so far ahead of Give It that I don't know if it's going to be useful for him to land ahead of She Created. They landed East and Split last game. Circle, by the way, is on Potato Hill this game, so about as central as you can get. Walks doesn't Give It. Okay, they found a car. Will that be enough for them to escape and get down to Yaz? She Created's going to try. 30 bullets. We're good. Woo! Okay. Blue Star and No Life have gone north as well. Right. That's the second game now that these guys have clashed with each other, but at least they've done it in such a way that they can still play out the game. We're all good. We are all good. So on to Potato Head. Now, the reason why the rotations on this circle aren't going to be as interesting as some others, guys, if you ever hear casters say something along the lines of, oh, wow, this circle is going to make it so difficult to rotate, the easiest way to take a look at this in principle is to look at the circle and how many different angles there are to come in. So by this, I mean, if you're on Military Island, you can only come in via the bridges. So this sort of quadrant of getting into the circle kind of doesn't exist. But about 80% of the circle, 85% of the circle, you're fine. You can come in from almost any angle en route to somewhere in phase 1. That might stop being true later on in the game. So say phase 4, phase 5, you pretend this is a phase 5 circle. You might not be able to come in certain channels because there will be 3 teams shooting you out of your car and there's no way. But because phase 1 is so big and there's such a huge percentage of land where you can cross in vehicles to get into circle, that generally means that the early game rotations are going to be less interesting. Now, that's not all bad because sometimes this turns into what I like to call tinderbox games, where you get this pressure building and building and building, and then you sort of get to sort of phase 3, phase 4, and there's still like 60 players left alive or something crazy like that. And then one kill happens, which starts one third party. It starts another third party. It ends up being a chain reaction, and all hell breaks loose, and you lose maybe anywhere between 10 and 20 players in 2.5 minutes of gameplay. It gets crazy. So this kind of circle can produce those sort of games more often than not. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We will wait and see. We will wait and see. Lots of possibilities here. Is Kova... And where's the rest of RFI? RFI are here on Military Island. Kova is... Okay, we've got questions to ask, room for improvement. Somebody didn't get to the plane until very late on. That is, that's my analysis there. Everyone else seems to be relatively okay there. I'm just taking a quick look at all the teams. Absolutely no desire, of course, for Marcy's team to move anywhere. School apartments, perfectly acceptable. BBL thinking about going early into Pachinki. Ideally, they'd want to go east of Pachinki or maybe onto the hills rather than sit in the town itself there. So I think Mur is going to keep going. I don't feel like there's any pressing need to specifically stay inside the town itself. Murray's indeed on the southern tip, which is... It's okay. I mean, we've got a good amount of cover for vehicles. You can sort of rotate in and out at will. You've got the road to the south. You can go east as and when you want. Very non-committal. After Alt and Hibako and Co. in Zaki, you're going to have to get a mood on relatively quickly as well. But I'm sure they will. And one of the mixed teams here, still doing okay, actually. I think they've just fallen off the top half of the leaderboard, but they're doing all right. He-Man's mixed team have got so much of the southern portion of the circle right now because no one except for Room for Improvement are coming in from Military Island. So they're going to have so much room to play with. Have they spotted that drop as well? I just saw someone look that way from the car. Yes, they have. They've spotted this. Very well done. They're going to be able to get this for free. That's an AWM with the classic extended quick draw AR mag. Thanks, guys. So they are all good. Nixie coming under an intense amount of fire from Needex. This could be good. This should be good. This would be good. It's good. Woo! 1 HP. The drive-by is going to fix it. And the Woo, they're getting a very, very rude awakening. As Needex's squad cement their control of this side of the hill. They can't go into J compound, remember, because we have got win or die right on the other side. So they're going to go all the way around instead, losing Nixie early. They're basically looking for compounds that could be free, rotating south, but they don't want to go all the way down to farm or anything like that. I think they might want the compound Apocalypse in. They could also play the dip. Dip's free, boys. And this should be okay. In phase 5 or phase 6, this would be worrisome. Because you'd come here, you'd be like, guys, we're safe. And then 5 different teams will try and rush into the dip and third party you. We're totally cool for right now, okay? Who else is still outside circle? Wok says, in and around Kameshki, they were, remember, contesting Stalber with MTB. They got away from that peacefully. So the fact that they're in a little bit late doesn't surprise me. And all 4 of them are alive. That's fine. Absolutely no complaints there. BBL, remember how we said Pachinki was just going to be a stage? They were just staging themselves on the south bit of Pachinki and they wanted to be a bit east of Pachinki. Well, guess what? I'm an analyst. There we go. They're moving slightly further east. They're protecting the vehicles. They've got these farmhouse compounds. I'm not saying this is their final destination by any stretch of the imagination, but this is the next place for them to be until the circle closes. Really? You guys still managed to run into each other? Are you for cereal? Wok says, running into She Created. And MTB Esports. 9 minutes later, we'll get first blood there. Oh, beautiful. Really nice hit onto Blue Star. And I feel like Wok says might actually want to collapse on this now if they want to do a little bit of revenge shenanigans. CTR is coming in to support She Created. Wok says want revenge. They want the trade. And as a result, they're slightly blind to someone else pushing in. They have no idea. No life gets She Created. CTR gets Blue Star. Wok says maybe letting their rage blind them a little bit. She Created down. Give it. Needs to get the revive. It needs to get it very quickly. Indeed, CTR pausing to heal will give them the time that they need to get back up to a duo at least. He's now extremely close. I feel like this underhand nade should be the end of She Created. It is. Here comes CTR. It's a straight up 1v2. Not Looking good so far. No bullets left in the barrel. That's it. MTB Esports eliminated. And Wok says manages to take the win in what I could only describe as a fairly messy manner. I feel like both teams could have comfortably moved in a lot sooner than they did. Phase 2 has popped, still more or less centering on Potato Hill. All angles possible. Question mark. I've got the southern bit now of phase 2, and you can see the water has all been cut out. Just the tiniest bit. Though a little paddling pool for the kids to play in the southern part of the circle. This is another reason why BBL moved to this position early on. We have Ghetto Gang and Heroic jostling for this position. Heroic happy to get the hell out of Dodge, but BBL never having to deal with this to begin with. Marcy. Oh, wow, Marcy. Oh, no. Never mind. 6-9 able to get the trade. Back to lobby. He's going to be back to lobby. Where's the rest of the squad? Where are we? Okay, we're in apartments and schools still. Yeah, a little bit too far split for everyone coming in. Like, there are so many different angles to come into the zone safely, but once you're in, if someone spots you or solo, they'll just collapse on you. And that's happened 2 or 3 times this game already. Almost vanity shots here from Marcy. If he gets a knock, great. He's never getting the flush. If they get a knock on him, great. They're also never getting the flush, but they're taking those hits on each other anyway. Team of Anatolia have spotted double, and that's critical for their team. Double's been very, very decent today. Remove him from the game early doors. Nedex coming in to join the rest of his team. After Old spent a suspiciously long amount of time in Yasnaya, I wonder if there was a mishap in rotation and if they had to revive someone earlier. I'm not sure, but they're very, very late. No harm done, but they're certainly not competing for center circle. And Wok says, crew finally getting it. Remember, Ibby and the Woo had this dip before. Wok says they're going to move around it now. There's a chance that Intense will be able to spot them coming in behind. I feel like Wok says has seen Intense, but not the other way around, so they're opting to slow down just a little bit to allow the Woo to get out of the way. I get the feeling, though, that from the 3-story or from on the roof here, Ibby might have spotted something. All quiet on the western front. Fuzzface. Elements of surprise gone, unfortunately. He gets... But Jesus, no life. Calm down. Absolutely destroyed there. Fuzzface getting taken out by several directions at once. No life, Blue Star, and Give It, I think, all contributing damage to that. So fair enough. The Woo now down to a duo. I thought they had the drop there, but Fuzzface got spotted just a little bit too early and 1 or 2 seconds too far away from cover. Phase 3 has popped. Finally, we have a hard shift, refusing to get rid of the paddling pool. It's going to be a 6 o'clock hard shift here. Those who made camp out on Potato Hill are going to find everyone moving through them. Mercurial and Panathinaikos basically have to power through. These teams are now effectively gatekeeping the north side of Phase 3. And this is exactly what I mean. Mercurial opting not to go over the top there, so that's good. It means that Heroic won't get clean shots at them. So they know where they are. Lots of warning shots happening. BBL, on the other hand, onto Panathinaikos is more of a problem because Ghetto Gang might shoot on the other side. Oh, they haven't. I thought they would. This car's dead. Dear Powmax. Small problem. And are the whole team going to stay here now? Yes, it's not just him, so everyone else is staying. Mercurial have made their way through the muck. And as a result, they get their share of dips on the southern side. Please try not to run over Pixelic. There we go. We're all good. Oh, can you smell that? It's desperation. Jam and Silas there trying their best to hold out against Ibby. And Ibby actually doing a phenomenal job of getting both of them But I think it's the exploding car that got the second, and therefore Ibby needs a quick little bit of SOS, even first aid from Intense. We'll get that. But will it be fast enough? It won't be. It will not be fast enough for Nail Cop and Team of Anatolia to pick up 2 extra points for their team. That's the Woo eliminated in 15th. Alrighty ho. Where to next? Oh. How much have Heroic spotted? How much has Jeem spotted? Can he hear the footsteps? Does he know this is a problematic place to be? Certainly hears the vehicles. And Marcy have opted to rotate. Oh, Jesus. Away from them. But they're going to go into Afteralt. Watch Afteralt here very, very carefully. All 3 of them should get some clean shots onto the vehicles. They somehow managed to survive. I say somehow. Never say never. That's Ian getting one. Will he get a second? So close to going down is Fragger. That's Prorix down and Fragger very, very close to going down. So you know what? We'll take that. 3 damage per second, though, in this next zone. And Fragger actually goes down to the blue. Not enough time there. Marcy, the only player... Oh, no. Oh, no. This is terrible. Phase 4 bounces back up. We did have a southern hard shift. We're back up to a 1 o'clock hard shift now. Win or die, we're right in the middle of things, and unfortunately that's not good for them on this occasion. Out in the open and getting eliminated. Wok says coming in very late indeed. Now dealing with He-Man, so 2 of the mixed teams crashing into each other. Feinoto in as reserve 2. Iroh and Xiong further into the middle of zone. No life. Nearly gets damage from that. Good peek. Doesn't take damage from the frag grenade, but still gets information on where the enemy is. Second flashbang. No life. Oh, very blind now. No question about that. But there's no follow-up. He-Man with a 3rd flash. Not quite quick enough, I'm afraid. He-Man gets no life. That's Wox's mix eliminated. Feinoto will be able to get revived. And Iroh's actually coming as well. As backup for these guys. Is Xiong still holding out in the middle? Yes, he is. So they're going to have to revive and get to Xiong ASAP. Room for improvement in question mark. Holding the same compound now. Do question mark push on the knock. Do they have scopes? If they get a second one, I feel like they have to, but... Maybe not on the first. I think they realize it's a 2-2 split now. No shots coming at them from the left side as soon as they got the knock. That's a big clue as well. Senex and Kova taking relatively conservative positions, not wanting to get themselves at risk of being knocked while someone else is still on the ground. Uh-oh. Ghetto Gang. Well, we've got questions here, that's for sure. Zubila knocked, and that's from Mercurial en route. Good trade onto Pixelic there, but Sancho goes down as well. In fact, it's only Blazor left. Mercurial now wrapping onto Blazor from all sides. I think the smokes aren't going to be too much of a help. Manages to confirm Pixelic, just trying to get the point for his team before making his way out. Is he going to stop for Zubila? He is. But so is Nowick. Blazor and Zubila absolutely toasted there. The good news is it was quick death. The bad news is no more part can they play in this game. 11 teams left, 35 players alive at the 19.5-minute mark. And Mercurial there taking the necessary steps to end that. We've gone south. We then went north. We're going south again. So next zone more or less on top of these guys. They'll be okay. Heroic and Sarvem will be ruining their position up on the north side of the circle. They managed to do some excellent rotations to get into where they are, but this is now a little bit more tricky. BBL remember, after taking that position east of Bajinki, are now going to be thinking about moving out of it soon. They don't have to do it this circle, but I suspect they will by next. RFI, another knock. And question mark realize a corner of their compound is in next circle, but RFI have to completely move out. So question mark are going to be playing for pressure. Anatolia, in the meantime, want to play completely center. I think this is optimistic, if I'm being honest, even with the vehicles around these rocks. There's not an awful lot of cover, and people can see you from high ground as well. But I could be proven wrong. Let's see if they're able to survive. Right now, everyone's busy focusing on the teams on the edge. So if at any point this fighting stops and they all look towards the middle, that's when Anatolia are toast. But until that happens, they're doing okay. It's all hypothetical until that happens. RFI. Forget room for improvement. They're just looking for room right now. A minute and a half. Or maybe a minute and 10 seconds before their compound completely gets swallowed up by the blue. If you're going to revive Cover, it has to be near instantly. Senek's going for that revive, but Xiong and Ira are having some excellent angles on them. The amount of pressure being put on these guys right now is insane. Speaking of pressure, we've got Heroic and After All top on the north side. We were talking about how they'd have to rotate in. It looks like they're going to do it through each other. Olsen gets taken out mostly by Beamy and has to stop to heal. But Heroic have taken damage while making their way into this position after fighting After All. And they do not have time to recoup, to heal, to move in because of the blue zone. James is down now as well. Defender lost. Beamy, last hero standing. Not going to be enough. They get eliminated in 10th place. And Sarvem now have to deal with BBL as well. They are absolutely not out of the frying pan just yet. Room for improvement. Eliminated. They get squeezed out, as we thought might happen. Now question mark, with all four alive, might turn their attention to Mercurial. But they're running away. They've decided this isn't a favorable position to take against them. And if you take a look compared to some of the other games, yes, it's a little bit of high ground. But in a 2v4 fighting here against here, where one, maybe two teams can potentially snipe you from afar while you're engaging, not worth it, especially when you consider the zone's gone back north again for phase 6, and they can't exactly sit there and enjoy a protracted fight. They have to move. In fact, they have to move the most out of any team. So completely fair enough. Murr gets blindsided a little bit by Marcy. Last player standing on his own mixed team, of course. Into the placement points once more. A little bit unfortunate for BBL that they got surprised that way. That's why it's important to clear out those compounds early. Ten seconds left to go until the zone starts moving. What is Marcy going to do? Who's watching? Onur. Onur is watching. Should spot him on the right side of the smoke any second now. He does. Good return fire. Really good return fire. Thenderloss, though, will be able to complete that. Decent nade. Would have done a little bit of damage. If Thenderloss got him down to one hit, that might have actually finished it. So, fair play. Well done by BBL Esports. 3 alive and 6 kills to their name at the 24-minute mark of this game. They're just outside a circle on the west side. I think they're going to be coming in to join Thenderloss any moment now. And you know what? Anatolia have been okay so far. Panathinaikos now, southwest, are probably going to be hustling for a single spot with BBL. I can't realistically see both of these teams coexisting on this side of the circle for much longer. Unless Mercurial... Hello. Nope. That was wishful thinking, wasn't it? I thought something might happen, but I was slightly wrong. Panathinaikos now out. Mercurial was the spark that made it happen. But Panathinaikos out and Mercurial not. Oh! And from beyond the grave, potentially. Indeed. As Paige goes down and Mercurial eliminated. Anatolia also get taken out. That's Apocalypse down. Apocalypse now. Hey! And Celtic healing in the middle of the zone with multiple teams looking at them. Remember what we said, guys? As long as the edge teams are fighting each other, TOA would be fine. And as soon as they stop fighting each other, they become the center of attention. Well, that's exactly what's happened right now. Dante has to move into zone. And he wants to go there via Celtic. Team of Anatolia eliminated now. We're into our top three. Question mark. He-Man's mixed team and BBL. BBL up to 10 kills. And the way they've rotated to the east of Pachinki and playing it safe has been remarkable so far this game. It's been very slow and methodical, but very good as well. ABC. As easy as Adu Z. 3 point there for question mark, but reveals his position. Onoa putting his head above the parapet and Aduzi inferring his position from where the grenades originated from. This is good, actually, because Onoa basically needed Thunderloss to try and triangulate Aduzi's position, and he didn't have him. It was a 1v1. Onoa does win that fight, but Thunderloss is down now, and it's a 3v1. BBL Esports, from a position where I would say they could have been marginal favorites to win here. They haven't quite handed it to He-Man's team. Seong takes 2 shots, looking for a third. It's Iroh who gets it. And He-Man's mixed team with 12 kills will take home the chicken dinner in game number 5. Beautiful stuff. He-Man, Seong, Feinotto, and Iroh, all with 3 kills each. How visually pleasing is that? BBL will come second with 11 kills and with 2 kills, but a commendable finishing position. We've got question mark in the 3rd place.